Your life is not a dress rehearsal. You have one shot, one single magnificent opportunity to build a life of meaning, of impact, of freedom. And yet, if you are like 99% of people, you are living that one precious life completely by accident. You are a ship without a rudder, a soldier without a general, a player in a complex game without any knowledge of the rules. You are drifting. You wake up, you react to the demands of your email, you react to the needs of your boss, you react to the impulses of your own undisciplined mind, and you go to sleep, only to repeat the process the next day. Your life is not a deliberate creation. It is a series of accumulated reactions. You work hard, but you are not getting ahead. You have dreams, but they remain distant fantasies. You feel a constant, low-grade anxiety that you are a passenger in your own life, and you are heading somewhere you did not choose. This audiobook is your declaration of war on the accidental life. It is your commission as the 5-star general of your own destiny. We are here to talk about the one skill that separates the 1% who succeed from the 99% who fail. It is not talent. It is not luck. It is strategy. The 99% of people are players on the board of life. The 1% are the grandmasters, the ones who see the entire board, who think 10 moves ahead, who understand that every single choice, every allocation of a resource every single day is a strategic move that either advances their position or weakens it. They do not just live their life, they design it. They strategize their success. This is not about working harder. It is about working smarter. It is about applying your finite resources, your time, your energy, your focus, with the ruthless precision of a military commander, on the few vital objectives that will actually win the war. This audiobook is your war room. It is your blueprint for becoming a master life strategist. We will dismantle the default programming that has kept you stuck and install a new operating system, one that is built on clarity, on purpose, on ruthless prioritization, and on relentless execution. You will learn to define what victory actually looks like for you, to assess your current battlefield, to identify your highest leverage targets, and to build the daily systems that will guarantee your progress. If you are ready to stop being a pawn in a game you don't understand and start being the strategist who commands the board, then your training begins now. The principles in this audiobook are the foundation for a life of victory and control. To ensure you stay on this path and continue to receive the hard-hitting truths you need to win, subscribe to this channel right now. Don't be part of the 99% who consume information and do nothing. Be the 1% who commits, acts, and transforms their reality. Subscribe now and let's begin the work. And if you find value by the end of this video, please leave a meaningful comment to keep motivating us to make content like this. Chapter 1. The CEO of You, Inc. Adopting the Strategist's Mindset. Before we can discuss a single tactic, a single goal, or a single plan, we must first perform a profound and permanent shift in your identity. This is the foundational step, the one that makes all the others possible. You must stop seeing yourself as an employee in your own life and immediately promote yourself to the role of Chief Executive Officer. Your life is not just a series of events, it is an enterprise. It is you, Inc. And as the CEO, you are no longer a passive participant, a mere worker on the assembly line. You are now 100% responsible for the entire operation. You are responsible for the vision, for the strategy, for the allocation of resources, and most importantly, for the results. The 99% of people live with an employee mindset. An employee waits for instructions. An employee does what they are told. An employee is responsible only for their specific, narrow set of tasks. When things go wrong, the employee has someone else to blame: their boss, the company, the economy. Their locus of control is external. They are a victim of their circumstances. They are waiting for someone else to give them a raise, to give them a promotion, to give them a better life. The CEO mindset is the polar opposite. The CEO does not wait for instructions. They create the plan. The CEO is not just responsible for their own tasks, they are responsible for everything. The buck stops with them. The CEO understands that their circumstances are not a prison, they are a starting point. They are the raw material from which they must build their enterprise. This is the mindset of radical ownership that we have discussed before, but now we are applying it with a strategic lens. As the CEO of You, Inc., you have a fiduciary duty to your primary shareholder, your future self. Your job is to make the decisions today that will maximize the long-term value and freedom of that shareholder. This is a profound and sobering responsibility. The 99% are constantly betraying their future self for the short-term comfort of their present self. They are the CEO who spends all the company's profits on a lavish office party instead of reinvesting it into research and development. They are chasing short-term appearances at the cost of long-term solvency. As the CEO, you must become a detached and unemotional analyst of your own life. You are no longer allowed to be swayed by your fleeting moods or your momentary impulses. You must make decisions based on data, on principles, and on your long-term strategic objectives. Your feelings are important data points, but they are not the decision maker. The CEO is the decision maker. This identity shift requires you to think of your life in terms of different corporate departments. You have a finance department, your personal finances, your investments, your debt. You have a health and wellness department, your physical and mental well-being. You have an R&D department, your personal growth and learning. You have a public relations department, your relationships and your reputation. The 99% let these departments run on their own, in a state of chaotic disarray. The CEO understands that they must have a clear strategy and a system for managing every single one of these departments. They are all interconnected, and the failure of one will inevitably impact the others. A bankrupt health department will cripple the productivity of the entire enterprise. A failing PR department will destroy the company's opportunities for growth. This is not just a clever metaphor. It is a powerful mental model that will force you to bring a new level of seriousness and intention to your life. You are no longer just trying to get in shape. You are the CEO, implementing a strategic plan to improve the performance of your health and wellness department because you know it is critical to the long-term success of you, Inc. You are no longer just saving some money. You are the CEO executing a capital allocation strategy to build the company's balance sheet and secure its future. The 99% are amateurs in the game of life. They are playing for fun with no real strategy. You are now a professional. This is not a game. This is the most important enterprise you will ever run. And you are the one in charge. This is a heavy burden, but it is also the ultimate liberation. It is the moment you stop being a pawn and you start being a player, a king or a queen on the board of your own destiny. So before you do anything else, you must formally accept this promotion. You must look in the mirror and acknowledge the new title you now hold. You are the CEO. The excuses, the blame, the passivity of your old employee self are gone. You have been replaced by a strategist, a leader, an architect. Now it's time for the first board meeting. It's time to define the grand strategy for your new enterprise. Chapter 2: Defining your grand strategy. What does victory look like? Every great enterprise, every successful military campaign is guided by a clear and compelling vision of victory. A general does not send their troops into battle with the vague instruction to do their best. A CEO does not build a company with the fuzzy goal of being successful. They have a specific, measurable, and inspiring definition of what winning looks like. The second step in strategizing your life is to define your grand strategy. It is to answer with breathtaking clarity the question, what does victory look like for me? The 99% of people fail because they have never done this. They are fighting a war without a defined objective. They are climbing a mountain that has no summit. Their goals are a collection of vague, disconnected desires that they have passively absorbed from the world around them. More money, a bigger house, a nicer car. They are chasing the what without ever having defined the why. They are chasing a target that someone else has painted for them. As the CEO of You, Inc., your first and most important job is to set the overarching vision for your enterprise. This is not a to-do list. This is your North Star. It is the one unifying principle that will guide all of your future strategic decisions. This process of defining your grand strategy has two parts: defining your values and then creating your vision. Your values are the non-negotiable principles that will govern your enterprise. They are your corporate culture. Words like integrity, growth, freedom, impact, mastery. You must choose the 3 to 5 words that will be the bedrock of your life strategy. These values are your compass. They are what will keep you on course when you are faced with difficult decisions. The 99% have never consciously defined their values, so their decisions are made based on convenience and impulse. The strategist's decisions are made based on their code. The second and more creative part is to craft your vision statement. This is a high-definition, written description of your life in the future, at a specific point in time, say 5 or 10 years from now. You must write this in the present tense as if it has already happened. This is not a time for realism. It is a time for audacity. You are the architect, and this is your blueprint for a masterpiece. You will describe in vivid detail every department of your life. What does your finance department look like? I have a net worth of $1 million with $50,000 in passive income from my investments. What does your health department look like? I am in the best physical shape of my life, with boundless energy, and I have completed a marathon. What does your R&D department look like? I am a recognized expert in my field, and I read 50 books a year. You are painting a picture so clear and so compelling that it creates a powerful emotional pull. This written vision is not a document you create once and then forget about. It is your most important strategic document. You will review it every single day. The CEO reviews the company's mission statement daily to remind themselves and their team of what they are fighting for. You must do the same. This daily review does two things. First, it programs your subconscious mind. Your brain is a target-seeking missile, and your vision statement is the coordinates of the target. By reviewing it daily, you are constantly feeding those coordinates to your internal guidance system. Your brain will begin to work on the problem of achieving that vision 24/7. Second, it creates a powerful, productive tension between your current reality and your desired future. This tension is the fuel for your ambition. It is what will make you uncomfortable with mediocrity. It is what will drive you to take the actions necessary to close the gap. The 99% live in a state of comfortable ambiguity. They have no clear vision, so there is no gap and therefore no driving force for change. The strategist lives in a state of creative tension. They are constantly aware of the gap, and they are obsessed with the process of closing it. This is not about creating a rigid, unchangeable plan. Your grand strategy is a living document. It will evolve as you grow and as you learn, but you must have a version 1. You must have a flag on the top of the mountain that you are climbing, even if you later decide to climb a different mountain. Without a flag, you are not climbing, you are just wandering. So this is your first great task as CEO. You must call a strategic off-site with yourself. You must disconnect from the noise of the day-to-day and do the deep, difficult work of thinking. Who are we? What do we stand for? And where, with absolute clarity, are we going? Define your victory, and you will have taken the first, and most important, step in guaranteeing that you will achieve it. Chapter 3: The Battlefield Assessment, a brutal audit of your life. A brilliant grand strategy is useless if it is not grounded in the harsh reality of the present. A general who plans a magnificent offensive without first understanding their own army's strength, their supply lines, and the enemy's position is not a strategist. They are a fool, leading their troops to slaughter. The third step in strategizing your life is to conduct a brutal, honest, and unflinching assessment of your current battlefield. You must be willing to look with radical clarity at where you are standing right now. The 99% of people avoid this at all costs. They live in a comfortable fog of self-delusion. They are afraid to step on the scale. They are afraid to look at their bank statement. They are afraid to get honest feedback on their performance. They prefer the warm blanket of ignorance to the cold, hard light of the truth. This is a fatal strategic error. You cannot create an accurate map to your destination if you do not have the courage to put a pin in your current location. As the CEO of You Inc., you must now become the chief auditor. Your job is to go through every single department of your enterprise and assess its current state, not with judgment, not with shame, but with the detached, analytical eye of a strategist gathering intelligence. You will create a life dashboard. This will be your single source of truth document. For each of the key departments of your life, you will identify and track the key metrics. Let's start with your finance department. The key metric here is your net worth. You will calculate it as we have discussed in other audiobooks, all of your assets minus all of your liabilities. You will track your savings rate, the percentage of your income you are investing. You will list every single one of your debts with their exact balances and interest rates. No guessing, no hiding. Just the cold, hard numbers. Next is your health and wellness department. What are the key metrics? Your weight, your body fat percentage, your resting heart rate, the number of workouts you complete per week, the number of hours you sleep per night. You will track this data. You are a scientist and your body is your experiment. Next is your R&D department, your learning and growth. The metrics here might be the number of books you read per month, the number of hours you spend per week in deliberate practice of a key skill, the new skills you have acquired in the last quarter. You are assessing the rate of your own growth. Next is your public relations department, your relationships. This is harder to quantify, but you can still audit it. List your 5 most important relationships. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the quality and the depth of each one? How many hours of focused, present, phone-free time did you invest in these relationships last week? And you must also audit your skills, your assets, and your liabilities as a professional. This is a SWOT analysis: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. What are your core, undeniable strengths? What are the critical weaknesses in your skill set that are holding you back? What are the emerging opportunities in your industry that you could seize? And what are the threats, the new technologies, the new competitors that could make you obsolete? This process of creating your life dashboard is not a one-time event. This is a living document that you will update and review as part of your weekly review habit, which we will discuss later. The 99% will resist this with every fiber of their being. It is painful. It will reveal the gap between the story they tell themselves and the reality of their results. It will force them to confront the consequences of their own past inaction and poor decisions. The strategist knows that this pain is a necessary and powerful catalyst. The truth is your greatest ally. The data is your friend. It is not there to condemn you. It is there to guide you. It is the intelligence report from the battlefield that will allow you to make smart, informed decisions about where to allocate your resources, where to attack, and where to defend. The 99% are flying blind with no instruments in the middle of a storm. They are operating on feelings and guesswork. You are now the pilot of a state-of-the-art aircraft with a dashboard full of real-time data, giving you a complete and accurate picture of your reality. This is an almost unfair advantage. Have the courage to do this audit. Have the courage to face the numbers. Have the courage to see the truth. Because it is only from the firm ground of reality that you can begin the work of building your magnificent vision. Chapter 4. The 80-20 Offensive. Identifying your high-leverage priorities. You now have your grand strategy, your vision of victory, and you have a clear and honest assessment of your current battlefield. You know where you want to go, and you know where you are. Now comes the most critical part of any strategy, deciding where to attack. A foolish general will try to fight on all fronts at once. They will spread their army thin, making a little bit of progress everywhere, but achieving a decisive victory nowhere. The 99% of people live their lives this way. They try to improve everything at once. They are trying to start a business and get a six-pack and learn Spanish and be a perfect parent all at the same time. Their energy and their focus are scattered across a dozen different targets. As a result, they make slow, frustrating, and often zero progress on all of them. They are engaged in a war of attrition against their own ambitions, and they are losing. The fourth step in strategizing your life is to become a master of the focused offensive. It is the art of identifying the one or two high-leverage priorities that will have the greatest cascading impact on your entire life, and then focusing a disproportionate amount of your resources on achieving a decisive victory in those areas. This is the 80-20 rule, the Pareto principle, applied to your life strategy. You must accept a fundamental truth. Not all goals are created equal. There are a vital few priorities that, if you were to achieve them, would act as a force multiplier, making it easier or even unnecessary to achieve all of your other goals. These are your lead dominoes. Your job as a strategist is to identify the lead domino. You must look at your grand strategy, at your vision for your best self, and you must ask the focusing question. What is the one thing that by doing it would make everything else on this vision easier or unnecessary? This is a question of profound strategic clarity. Let's say your vision includes being in great physical shape, being more confident, and having more energy. You could try to work on all three separately. Or you could identify the lead domino, a consistent, challenging exercise routine. By focusing all your energy on mastering that one priority, you will, as a natural byproduct, get in shape, which will increase your energy, and the discipline and physical transformation will build your confidence. You have not achieved one goal. You have triggered a chain reaction of victory. For a person starting from a place of financial chaos, the lead domino is not get rich. The lead domino is create a freedom plan and stick to it for 90 days. By mastering that one foundational habit of financial control, you will naturally begin to eliminate debt, build savings, and reduce stress, making all other financial goals easier to achieve. Your job as the CEO of You, Inc. is to decide on your quarterly strategic imperative. What is the one, most important project that your enterprise will focus on for the next 90 days? You are not trying to win the war in 90 days. You are trying to win a single, critical battle that will give you a strategic advantage for the next phase of the war. The 99% are trying to fight a dozen battles at once. The strategist chooses one hill and they decide they will take that hill no matter what it takes. This requires the courage to say no, or at least not now, to a lot of other good ideas. This is the essence of strategy. Strategy is not just about what you choose to do, it is about what you choose to ignore. The 99% are opportunity takers. They are seduced by every shiny new object. The strategist is an opportunity creator. They are focused on their one chosen path, knowing that their focus is what will create the very opportunities they desire. Once you have identified your high-leverage priority, your 80-20 offensive, you must then allocate your resources accordingly. This means your best time, your best energy, your best focus, your sacred hour in the morning is dedicated to this one priority. It gets the prime real estate on your calendar. Everything else is secondary. The 99% give their best energy to the trivial, urgent demands of the day, and they are left with the scraps for their most important work. The strategist does the exact opposite. They pay themselves first, not just with their money, but with their focus. This is a war of focus. Your ability to concentrate your power on a single point is your greatest weapon. The 99% are a shotgun blast, their energy scattered and ineffective. You will become a sniper's bullet, precise, powerful, and unstoppable. So look at your life dashboard. Look at your grand strategy. What is the lead domino? What is the one battle that, if you won it, would make all the other battles easier? Identify your target, and then focus all of your firepower. This is the habit of the focused offensive. This is how you stop being busy and you start being victorious. Chapter 5. Your most valuable asset, the strategic allocation of time and focus. A strategy, no matter how brilliant, is worthless without the resources to execute it. In the enterprise of your life, you have many resources: your money, your skills, your relationships. But there is one resource that is more precious, more fundamental, and more tragically mismanaged than all the others. This resource is your attention. Your time is the container, but your attention is the substance. It is the raw energy of your consciousness, and where you choose to direct it is the single most important strategic decision you will make, moment by moment, every single day. The fifth step in strategizing your life is to stop being a careless spender of your attention and to become a masterful, strategic allocator of it. The 99% of people are attention bankrupt. They have completely surrendered the control of their focus to external forces. Their attention is a commodity that is hijacked and sold to the highest bidder by the architects of the attention economy. The social media apps, the news alerts, the endless stream of notifications. They are living in a state of continuous partial attention, their minds fractured, their focus a shallow and scattered thing. They are trying to win a war, but their army, their cognitive resources, is in a state of complete disarray with no clear commander. As the CEO of You, Inc., You must understand that your personal and your company's collective attention is your most valuable and most finite asset. It is the one thing you cannot make more of. Your job as a strategist is to guard this asset with a ruthless ferocity and to deploy it with the precision of a surgeon. The first strategic principle of attention allocation is to create a fortress of focus. This is the practice of designing your physical and digital environments to be a sanctuary for deep work, not a playground for distraction. As we've discussed in other audiobooks, this means your phone is in another room during your high-leverage work blocks. It means all notifications are turned off. It means your workspace is clean and minimalist. You are not relying on willpower to resist distraction. You are using strategic architecture to eliminate it at the source. The 99% are trying to fight a daily battle against a distracting environment. The strategist wins the battle by redesigning the battlefield itself. The second strategic principle is the use of time blocking. A to-do list is not a strategy. It is a wish list. A strategist does not just know what they have to do. They know when they are going to do it. You will take your high-leverage priorities, your 80-20 offensive, and you will give them a specific home on your calendar. You will schedule a 90-minute deep work block from 8:00 to 9:30 a.m. to work on your one thing. This is not a suggestion. It is a non-negotiable appointment. You are treating your own priorities with the same respect you would a meeting with your most important client. By scheduling your focus, you are moving from a reactive to a proactive mode. You are telling your day where it will go instead of asking it where it went. The third strategic principle is to understand and leverage your own energy chronotype. Not all hours of the day are created equal. You have a natural biological rhythm, a time of day when you are at your peak cognitive performance. For most people, this is in the morning. The 99% squander these peak hours on low-value, reactive tasks like checking email. This is a strategic catastrophe. It is like using your most elite special forces to guard the parking lot. The strategist knows their peak performance window, and they match their most important, cognitively demanding work to that window. They use their best energy for their best work. The shallow, administrative tasks are relegated to their low-energy periods in the afternoon. The fourth strategic principle is to embrace the power of strategic unavailability. The 99% believe that their value is tied to their constant availability and responsiveness. They answer every email within minutes. They are always reachable. This makes them a great servant but a poor strategist. The strategist knows that their greatest value is created in their moments of deep, focused, unavailable work. They have the courage to be offline. They have the discipline to disappear for a 90-minute block to do the work that actually matters. They are training the world around them to respect their focus. They are teaching people that they are not a 24/7 customer service hotline. This is the essence of attention strategy. It is about being a ruthless guardian and a brilliant deployer of your most precious asset. It is about understanding that the quality of your output is a direct function of the quality of your input, and the most important input is your own undivided attention. The 99% are letting their most valuable asset be stolen from them every single day. You will be different. You will build your fortress. You will schedule your focus. You will align your energy. And you will have the courage to be unavailable. This is how you transform your scattered attention into a powerful, world-changing force. Chapter 6. From Blueprint to Building: The Power of Daily Systems. A brilliant strategy is a beautiful but fragile thing. On its own, it is just a dream, a blueprint for a skyscraper that exists only on paper. The gap between the blueprint and the actual building is where 99% of all great plans fail. They fail in the messy, unglamorous, day-to-day reality of execution. The sixth step in strategizing your life is to bridge this gap. It is to move from the world of strategic thinking to the world of systematic doing. It is the habit of building a daily system that makes the execution of your strategy not a matter of choice, but a matter of routine. The 99% of people rely on willpower and motivation to execute their plans. They have their goal, and they believe that if they just try hard enough or stay motivated, they will achieve it. This is the strategy of an amateur. It is a strategy that is guaranteed to fail. Motivation is a fleeting emotion. Willpower is a finite battery. Relying on them to power a long-term, difficult journey is like trying to cross the ocean in a raft powered by a firecracker. The strategist, the CEO of you, Inc., does not rely on these fickle forces. The strategist builds an engine. They build a system. A system is a pre-designed, automated process for executing your most important actions. It is a set of habits and routines that run on autopilot, requiring minimal willpower or conscious thought. It is the machine that takes the blueprint of your strategy and begins the work of construction, brick by boring brick, every single day. Your primary system is your daily routine, particularly your morning and evening rituals. Your morning ritual, as we've discussed, is your system for starting the day on offense. It is your system for executing your sacred hour, for dedicating your best energy to your highest priority. This is not something you decide to do each morning. It is simply what you do. It is the pre-programmed launch sequence for a day of victory. Your evening ritual is your system for closing the day with intention. This is your shutdown ritual, where you conduct your daily review, plan your one thing for the next day, and clear your mind for a night of restorative sleep. This evening system ensures that you are not just ending your day, but that you are strategically setting up the next one for success. The 99% just let their days bleed into one another. The strategist has a clear start and a clear end, a system for opening and a system for closing. Another powerful system is the principle of habit stacking. You will take the new, difficult actions required by your strategy, and you will chain them to existing, automatic habits. The formula is, after current habit, I will new habit. For example, after I have my morning coffee, current habit, I will spend 15 minutes working on my key skill, new habit. You are using the momentum of an established habit to pull the new one along. You are not trying to create a new behavior from scratch. You are integrating it into the existing architecture of your day. The most important system you must build is the system for consistency. This is the rule of never miss twice. A system is not about being perfect. There will be days when your system breaks down, when life gets in the way. The 99% see this as a failure, and they abandon the system entirely. The strategist has a system for getting back on track. The rule is that you can miss one day, but you are not allowed to miss 2 days in a row. This is your system's emergency reboot sequence. It prevents a small error from becoming a catastrophic failure. It builds resilience and a bias toward immediate course correction. The 99% see discipline as a character trait. They believe you are either born a disciplined person or you are not. The strategist knows that this is a lie. Discipline is not a trait. It is a system. A disciplined person is simply someone who has designed a life where it is easier to do the right thing than it is to do the wrong thing. They have built systems that make their success automatic. They have removed the friction from their good habits and added friction to their bad ones. They have engineered their own behavior. This is your job as the CEO. You are not just the visionary, you are the chief systems engineer. You must look at every part of your grand strategy and ask, how can I build a system around this? How can I automate this? How can I make this a non-negotiable routine? Stop trying to be more disciplined. It is a losing battle. Instead, start building a more disciplined life. Build the routines, design the environment, and automate the actions that will, slowly but surely, transform the blueprint of your dreams into the physical reality of your masterpiece. Chapter 7: War Gaming Your Weaknesses, Building an Anti-Fragile Life. A brilliant strategy, executed with a flawless system, can still be shattered by a single, unexpected event. The 99% of people are strategically fragile. They are like a beautiful glass sculpture, impressive in a calm and controlled environment, but destined to shatter at the first sign of real-world pressure. They build their plans based on a best-case scenario. They assume that their motivation will remain high, that their circumstances will remain stable, and that they will not encounter any significant obstacles. This is not a strategy. It is a fantasy. And when reality inevitably strikes, when they face a rejection, a failure, a market crash, a personal crisis, their entire system collapses. The 7th step in strategizing your life is to move beyond mere planning and to start war gaming. It is the habit of proactively identifying and preparing for your own weaknesses, your own potential points of failure. It is the art of building a life that is not just resilient but anti-fragile, a life that does not just withstand shocks but actually gets stronger from them. As the CEO of You, Inc., you must also be the chief risk officer. You must have the courage to look at your own enterprise with a pessimistic and critical eye. You must ask the hard questions. Where are we vulnerable? What is the single weakest link in our system? What is the one event that could wipe out all of our progress? The first area to war game is your own psychology. You must identify your default failure modes. When you are stressed, tired, or under pressure, what are your go-to self-sabotaging behaviors? Do you procrastinate? Do you get angry? Do you seek comfort in junk food or mindless entertainment? You must know your enemy, your own default self, better than it knows itself. And then you must create a pre-mortem plan. For your most important goals, you will imagine that you have already failed. Then you will write down every single possible reason for that failure. I failed because I lost motivation. I failed because I got distracted. I failed because I was afraid of the criticism. Once you have this list, you can create a proactive if-then plan for each potential point of failure. If I feel my motivation waning, then I will reread my vision statement and take a 20-minute walk. If I find myself getting distracted, then I will immediately shut down my computer and work with a pen and paper for 30 minutes. You are not waiting for the crisis to happen. You are creating a contingency plan in advance, while your mind is still calm and rational. The second area to war game is your external circumstances. What are the key dependencies in your life? Are you 100% dependent on a single source of income? That is a point of extreme fragility. Your strategic response is to begin building a second income stream. Are you 100% dependent on one key skill? That is a point of fragility. Your strategic response is to begin learning a new, complementary skill. The strategist is constantly building redundancy and optionality into their life. They are creating a buffer, a margin of safety, that allows them to withstand the unexpected shocks that will derail the 99%. This is why the habit of building an emergency fund is so critical. It is a strategic buffer against financial shocks. This is why the habit of maintaining your physical health is so critical. It is a strategic buffer against the shock of illness. The third and most powerful way to build an antifragile life is to deliberately and consistently expose yourself to small, controlled doses of stress and discomfort. This is the principle of voluntary hardship. The 99% seek a life of comfort. The strategist knows that a life of constant comfort creates a weak and brittle soul. You must be a warrior. You must deliberately do hard things, take cold showers, practice intermittent fasting, take on the difficult project at work that everyone else is avoiding. By consistently microdosing on discomfort, you are training your nervous system. You are building calluses on your mind. You are proving to yourself over and over again that you can handle hardship. You are inoculating yourself against the fear of failure and the pain of struggle. When a real, unavoidable crisis arrives, you will not be a soft, untested civilian. You will be a battle-hardened veteran, ready for the fight. The 99% fail because their strategy is a house of cards, built for a world with no wind. You will be different. You will build a fortress, a stone citadel designed to withstand a hurricane. You will anticipate the attacks. You will know your own weaknesses. And you will have forged a spirit so strong and so resilient that the very storms that would destroy others will only serve to make you more powerful. Chapter 8: The Intelligence Network, a commitment to lifelong learning. A strategy is only as good as the intelligence it is based on. A general who is operating with an outdated map of the battlefield is destined to fail. In the rapidly changing landscape of the 21st century, your knowledge is your map. And if you are not constantly and deliberately updating that map, you are falling behind. The eighth step in strategizing your life is to build a powerful intelligence network. It is to make a non-negotiable, lifelong commitment to relentless learning. The 99% of people treat their education as a finished product. They have their degree, they have their job, and they believe their learning is done. Their knowledge base becomes a stagnant pond, growing more obsolete with every passing year. They are trying to navigate the complex, dynamic world of today with the mental map of 10 or 20 years ago. This is a formula for irrelevance. The strategist knows that their greatest competitive advantage is their rate of learning. In a world where knowledge is the new currency, the person who can learn, unlearn, and relearn the fastest is the person who will win. They do not have a fixed mindset, believing their intelligence is a static trait. They have a growth mindset, believing their mind is a muscle that can be strengthened with daily training. This commitment to learning is not a passive, haphazard affair. It is a structured, strategic system. The first component of your intelligence network is your reading system. You must become a voracious and strategic reader of nonfiction books. Books are the greatest cheat code in life. For a few dollars, you can download a lifetime of another person's wisdom and experience directly into your brain. The strategist has a reading list that is aligned with their grand strategy. They are not just reading for pleasure, they are reading for an edge. They have a scheduled daily time for reading, and they read with a pen in hand, actively engaging with the material, capturing key ideas, and connecting them to their own life. The second component is your expert network. You must actively seek out and learn from people who are ahead of you on the path. This is the power of mentorship. You must have the humility to ask for guidance and the wisdom to listen. A single 30-minute conversation with a mentor can save you years of trial and error. You must also build a network of peers, a mastermind group where you can share challenges, exchange ideas, and hold each other accountable. The 99% are trying to figure it all out on their own. The strategist is leveraging the collective intelligence of a powerful network. The third component is your application system. Knowledge that is not applied is just trivia. It is useless. The strategist has a bias toward action. For every new idea they learn, they are immediately asking, how can I test this? How can I apply this? They are constantly running small experiments in their own life and their own work. They are not just a student in the library. They are a scientist in the lab. This is how they turn theoretical knowledge into practical wisdom. This intelligence network is your personal R&D department. It is the part of your enterprise that is constantly scanning the horizon, identifying new trends, new opportunities, and new strategies. It is what keeps your grand strategy alive, dynamic, and relevant. The 99% are so busy with the doing that they never make time for the learning. They are a company that is so busy running the assembly line that they have shut down the entire research and development wing. This is a short-term strategy that guarantees long-term failure. You, as the CEO of You, Inc., must make a different choice. You must make a daily, non-negotiable investment in your own intellectual capital. You must see your mind as your most valuable asset, and you must be relentless in your pursuit of its appreciation. In a world of accelerating change, the only true security is your ability to adapt, and the only way to adapt is to learn. Make a commitment to be a student for life, and you will build an advantage that no one can ever take away from you. Chapter 9: Strategic Alliances, Architecting Your Inner Circle. No great enterprise is built by a single person. No war is won by a single general. The journey to a life of extraordinary success is not a solo mission. It is a team sport. The ninth, and critically important, step in strategizing your life is to become a deliberate and masterful architect of your strategic alliances. It is the art of curating your inner circle. The 99% of people treat their relationships as a matter of chance. Their inner circle is a random assortment of people they happen to grow up with, go to school with, or work with. They are a passive product of their social environment. And if that environment is one of mediocrity, of cynicism, of a fixed mindset, then they are being subconsciously programmed for failure every single day. You have likely heard the saying, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." This is one of the most powerful and unyielding laws of human nature. Your inner circle is your personal board of directors. They are the ones who are shaping your beliefs, your standards, your ambitions, and your habits. The 99% have a board of directors that is either asleep at the wheel or actively advising them to play it safe and stay small. The strategist understands that the single most important decision they will make, after defining their own strategy, is choosing who gets a seat at their boardroom table. They are a ruthless and intentional curator of their relationships. This is not about being a social climber or a transactional user of people. It is about a profound understanding that your energy, your mindset, and your standards are contagious, and you must protect your own ecosystem with a fierce discipline. The first step is to conduct a relationship audit. You will list the key people in your life and assess them with a simple question. Is this person a tailwind or a headwind in my life? A tailwind is someone who pushes you forward. They are optimistic. They are ambitious. They hold you to a high standard. They believe in your potential. A headwind is someone who holds you back. They are pessimistic. They are cynical. They are comfortable with mediocrity. They are threatened by your growth. You must be brutally honest in this assessment. The second step is to make some strategic adjustments. This involves 3 actions: upgrade, limit, and become. To upgrade, you will actively seek out and build relationships with people who are playing the game of life at a level you aspire to reach. You must get into the rooms where they are. Join the mastermind. Find the mentor. Have the courage to build relationships with people who intimidate you. They will stretch you. They will raise your standards. To limit, you will consciously reduce your exposure to the headwinds in your life. This does not necessarily mean cutting people off. It means making a strategic decision to spend less of your most valuable time and energy with the people who drain you and hold you back. You can love your family and your old friends without allowing their limiting beliefs to be the dominant voice in your head. And to become, you must focus on becoming the kind of person that other high achievers want to be around. The best way to attract a powerful network is to become a person of immense value yourself. Be a giver, not a taker. Be a source of energy, not a drain. Be someone who is so committed to their own mission that your passion and your discipline are an inspiration to others. Excellence is a magnet. The 99% are afraid to do this. They are loyal to their own mediocrity. They are more comfortable in a group that validates their excuses than in a group that demands their excellence. They are afraid of outgrowing their current tribe. The strategist knows that growth sometimes requires pruning. It requires you to have the courage to choose your future over your history. Your strategic alliances are not just your friends. They are your accountability partners. You must build a small, trusted, personal cabinet of people with whom you can be brutally honest about your goals and your struggles. These are the people who have your permission to call you out when you are slacking, to challenge your excuses, and to remind you of the person you have committed to becoming. The 99% have no one holding them accountable. They are the sole guardians of their own discipline, which is a fragile position to be in. The strategist builds a system of social accountability that makes it harder for them to fail. You are the CEO of you, Inc. Your inner circle is your executive team. You would never hire a pessimistic, lazy, and incompetent person to be your CFO. Why would you allow that person to be one of your closest friends? Choose your team wisely. Your success will be a direct reflection of the standards of the people you allow to have a seat at your table. Chapter 10: The Weekly War Room, the Habit of Review and Adaptation. A strategy is not a static document that is created once and then placed on a shelf to gather dust. It is a living, breathing entity. A battle plan is a brilliant hypothesis, but it must be constantly updated with the real-world intelligence that is coming back from the battlefield. The 10th and final step in strategizing your life is to build the system that ensures your strategy remains alive, relevant, and effective. It is the habit of the weekly war room. The 99% of people, if they plan at all, do so once a year, with a set of New Year's resolutions that are forgotten by February. They are navigating a year-long journey with a single, outdated map, with no process for course correction. They are a ship's captain who sets a course and then goes to sleep for the rest of the voyage. It is a guarantee that they will end up far from their intended destination. The strategist knows that execution is a dynamic process of action, feedback, and adaptation. They know that the key to long-term success is a tight, consistent feedback loop. The weekly war room is that feedback loop. It is a non-negotiable 60-90-minute appointment that you, as the CEO of you, Inc., will have with yourself every single week for the rest of your life. This is the most important meeting of your week. It is when you transition from being the soldier in the trenches to being the general on the hill, looking at the entire battlefield. This meeting has a simple, three-part agenda: review, reflect, and re-strategize. The first part is to review. You will look back at the past week with the detached eye of an analyst. You will look at your calendar and your daily plans. You will ask, did I do what I said I was going to do? You will look at your life dashboard, your key metrics. Did your net worth go up? Did you complete your workouts? Did you hit your learning targets? You are looking at the hard, cold data of your own performance. You are holding yourself accountable to the standards you have set. There is no hiding. There are no excuses. There is only the data. The second part is to reflect. This is where you move from the what to the why. You will ask a series of diagnostic questions. What were my biggest wins this week? It is crucial to celebrate your progress and to understand what is working so you can do more of it. What were my biggest challenges or failures? This is your opportunity to turn your setbacks into lessons, to extract the wisdom from your mistakes. Why did I succeed? Why did I fail? You are looking for the root causes. Did you fail because your system was flawed? Did you succeed because you were in a state of deep focus? You are gathering the intelligence that will make your strategy for the next week smarter. The third and final part is to re-strategize. Based on your review and your reflection, you will now plan the upcoming week. This is not just a to-do list. This is a battle plan. You will identify your 1 or 2 weekly strategic imperatives, the most important battles you need to win. You will then take those priorities and you will schedule them into your calendar. You will time block your deep work sessions. You will schedule your workouts. You will schedule your learning time. You are architecting your week for victory before it has even begun. You are moving from a state of hope to a state of intention. The 99% wake up on Monday morning and they ask, "What should I do today?" The strategist wakes up on Monday morning and they know exactly what their mission is because they have already designed it. This weekly ritual is the keystone that locks all the other habits into place. It is your system for accountability. It is your engine for continuous improvement. It is your compass that ensures you are not just working hard, but that you are working on the right things, and that you are staying on the course you have so deliberately chosen. The 99% will say they don't have time for this. They are too busy fighting fires, too busy being reactive. The strategist knows that this 1 hour of deep, strategic thinking is the single highest leverage activity of their entire week. It is the hour that saves them 10 hours of wasted, unfocused, and misdirected effort. It is the hour where they are truly the CEO. This is the final and most important habit of a life strategist. It is the commitment to never flying blind. It is the discipline of regular, structured, and honest self-assessment and self-correction. Master this habit, and your life will cease to be a series of accidents. It will become a deliberate, upward spiral of growth, of achievement, and of profound earned success. The closing. The war room is now closed. The 10 strategic principles have been laid before you. You began this journey as a player in a game you did not understand, a drifter on a sea of chance. You now hold the Grandmaster's playbook. You now know that a successful life is not a matter of luck. It is a matter of strategy. It is the result of a deliberate, conscious, and systematic design. You now have that design. You know that you are the CEO of your own life, and that your first and most important job is to define a clear vision of victory. You know that you must be a ruthless auditor of your own reality, a focused general who attacks the vital few priorities, and a brilliant allocator of your most precious resources. You know that a blueprint is useless without a system for building, that a fortress is weak if it is not war-gamed, and that an army is blind without an intelligence network. You know that your alliances will define your trajectory, and that a strategy is dead without a living process of review and adaptation. This is the complete system. This is the architecture of a life lived by design, not by default. But the most brilliant strategy in the world is still just a collection of ideas. It is ink on paper. Its power is dormant. The vast majority of people who have absorbed this information will admire the blueprint. They will be inspired by the strategy. And then they will place it on a shelf, and they will go back to the familiar, comfortable, and ultimately tragic game of drifting. The gap between strategy and execution is where 99% of human potential is lost forever. But you are not the 99%. You have stayed to the end because you are not a player. You are a strategist. You are not a drifter. You are a driver. You are not an employee in your own life. You are the CEO. The journey from this moment to the life you have envisioned is not a single, grand, heroic leap. It is the next small, strategic move you make. It is the move to sit down for 1 hour this weekend and draft the first version of your grand strategy. It is the move to identify your one, high-leverage priority for tomorrow. It is the move to schedule one 60-minute deep work block into your calendar. It is in these small, deliberate, and powerful moves that the entire game is won. This is no longer just about success. This is about mastery. This is about becoming the architect of your own soul. It is about earning the deep, unshakable self-respect that comes from knowing you are living a life of purpose, of discipline, and of your own conscious design. The blueprint is yours. The battlefield is waiting. Your army of one, your will, your focus, your time is ready to be deployed. The time for drifting is over. The time for strategy has begun. Go and execute.